Howdy there, music maker. I've got my goofy headset microphone on today, so you know what that means. It's a gear review day. Today we have the Xvive U8 wireless acoustic guitar system in house. This is one that I have been so excited to try out for a long time because mainly wireless acoustic guitar microphones are like not a thing. I've tried to do this when I was with my road bands before, where I bought like a DPA 4099 and then tried to find like a wireless pack to use with it and all this stuff. It was kind of like a really weird rigged up system to use that cost thousands of dollars, and the results still weren't that awesome. Don't get me wrong, the microphone I was using was great, but the wireless option was not great. So hopefully this U8 system that we've got here today might remedy some of those issues. As you guys know, if you've been on the scene here for the last couple years, Xvive is really starting to make waves with their in-ear monitor systems, their wireless electric guitar systems. So we'll see if this one can stand up to the test. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing. As we're unboxing this, let me just read off some of the features here. So this wireless transmitter is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitter. We're starting to see some 5.8 gigahertz transmitters come out these days, so that we don't compete with a lot of those frequencies that are on 2.4. So this means you're in that crowded bandwidth with this acoustic wireless system, so that means you might run into some interference. Just saying that before we even get started. This says less than 5 milliseconds of latency. That can still be noticeable if it is 5 milliseconds. 6 different channels, so if you do have interference, like with my wireless microphone system here today, we can theoretically switch channels and go from there. This says a dynamic range of 108 decibels. Won't be able to test that today. We'll just trust you, Xvive. 5 hours of battery life. Also won't be able to test that today, but I will definitely give you guys an update when I decide to use this thing on a live gig. This says up to 90 feet. Actual range depends on RF signal absorption, reflection, and interference. So I've tested this multiple times on the channel here before with different wireless systems. The Xvive wireless guitar system kind of killed it. I was able to walk all the way to the other end of my house with no signal interference or dropping or anything like that. So we'll give it another test like that here today. What else do we have? Broad 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz frequency response, high resolution 24-bit and 48 kilohertz audio, signal to noise ratio 108 dB, blah, 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 blah. 142 dB SPL high quality supercardioid microphone. The thing that I want to point out too, hypercardioid, that's a really cool thing because there will be some sound rejection at the back of this microphone. I think a lot of the microphones that people try to use on their acoustic guitars are typically like omnidirectional, which means you're getting sound from the back and the front. Not cool. We want that cardioid design here today, so that's really cool. Well, without further ado, let's check this thing out. Xvive's packaging is really awesome. You get the sense of like a really professional, high-quality product whenever you're dealing with any of their packaging and stuff like that. So this one is definitely not disappointing thus far. Cool, simple design, just a cardboard box. Then we've got our little Xvive carry case here. That's pretty neat. I always love when it comes with a carry case. Like, we're going to be traveling with this stuff. Even if it's in your studio, it's going to get knocked around. So a good carry case. Good job, Xvive. Open it up. Man, and it's all laid out for us right there. So, check this out. This is super cool, folks. I had a DPA 4099, like I mentioned before, and there we go. and all the accessories came in this little style of carry case. We're talking a DPA. That was like, you know, close to $1,000 with all of the accessories that I wanted. $219 for this one right here, and you get the same kind of high quality presentation and form factor. That said, we'll see if the microphone actually stands up and lives up to that hype. Cool. So I see we've got our little microphone here, the gooseneck microphone. Pretty robust, like nice metal housing and kind of a shock mount at the end there. You can see it jiggling a little bit. That's pretty cool. Definitely don't want any motion to transfer through that microphone arm. We've got our receiver. That would theoretically plug into your soundboard or amplifier. I'm going to be using my Schertler Jam amplifier to test this thing out here today, so we'll plug that in here in a sec. This is what the microphone connects to. Channel switch, on-off switch there, and then like a little decibel meter, so pretty cool. And then on the back, there's a little clip so that we can attach it to the included microphone clip. Awesome. Before I screw something up, let me go ahead and just
read the manual.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this side. So we've also got, great, we've got charging cable, We've got our silica packet. We've got our little furry windscreens and things like that. We've got a dual USB-C to USB-A, so you can charge both things at once. Oh, nice. And we've also got a little converter connector here. So if you want to take the receiver and plug it into something with a 1/4-inch signal, this is your jam right there. So you can plug that into just a regular guitar amplifier. I might try that on channel 1 of my Shirtler Jam, because that's a 1/4-inch channel, just to see what it sounds like. Great, there's all that stuff. Here are the goodies. Let me get the manual out. Warranty card. Nice, a little Xvive catalog. Wireless system. Let's get this thing straightened around here. So we've got pretty detailed pictures and stuff like that here. Shows you how to connect the microphone to the transmitter, how to operate the receiver here. Great. So on the receiver, we've got our power switch, or channel switch right here, our power switch right here, channel status LED to tell us which channel we're on. That's great. And then channel LEDs, actually that's what those are down here. So we've got channel LEDs on our transmitter that theoretically show us where we're matched up on the receiver. Yeah, here's the quick start right here. Okay. If you're looking at the little holder there, this tab should kind of be down, and then we connect the transmitter to it right there. Cool. Okay, so I'll put my microphone in here now. Just insert the 3.5mm jack, and then you've got a little security screw to keep it on there, make sure it doesn't fall off. And then there you have it. There's the system kind of completed, assembled. So what we'll do now, I'll go ahead and just try it out on channel 1 of my amplifier. Say that I'm like a, guitar player that doesn't have an amp with a 1/4-inch on it, or excuse me, with an XLR on it. So we'll just go 1/4-inch style right here. Power on. You guys can see the blue LED lights up for channel 1. Let's turn this one on to see where we're at. Both on channel 1, you can see the LEDs lit up. And theoretically, I'll switch to channel 2 here, and then channel 2 here. Great. I'll just stick with channel 1 for now, because why not? Aha! Already seeing the iPad that I use to control my camera, my main camera right here, just lost connection as I was cycling through these channels. So definitely experiencing some interference on that. Channel 1. Channel 1, let's go ahead and test this bad boy out. So I'm going back to the Jam amplifier. We have plugged into channel 1 there. I'm going to grab my E.J. Henderson OM guitar. And then they show you to put it on the guitar. You just pull this tab right back here. So we place it on top of the guitar here. They're kind of showing like an angled vibe about it. I'm going to clear it out of the way of my strap and kind of point the microphone down there. Let's see if they give us any advice on where to point this microphone. Yeah, so they just say generally somewhere over the sound hole, or close to the sound hole. Obviously, you can reposition the mic anywhere along like kind of this axis, you know what I mean? But we'll just see. I'm going to point this kind of at the 17th fret, and we'll just see how that sounds. Interesting. So I am on channel 1 of my Shirtler Jam amplifier, and I'm maxing out. I'm honestly getting pretty close to max with the gain and the volume controls here. That concerns me if I was in a live setting, you know what I mean, and I was looking for a little more headroom. But that might be because I'm using the 1/4-inch input. We'll see. The sound is pretty nice coming through my jam amp. I mean, it sounds like an acoustic guitar, not too muddy, not too anything. Let me just kind of mess with the position here for a sec, see what else we've got. Move it down toward the treble side. Let's maybe point it a little more toward the sound hole. Now you hear that boom coming through, so I'm actually gonna point it back. This is what I love, and this is why everybody wants a wireless mic on their acoustic guitar. You can EQ it just by like tweaking the positioning of it a little bit, so you don't have to mess with your preamp and your knobs and do all that kind of stuff. I love that about a microphone. There's some single line stuff on it for you. Swing chords, bluegrass rhythm. And why not? Nice. So there it is on channel 1 of my jam amplifier with the 1/4-inch converter. I'm going to take the 1/4-inch converter off, move the XLR over to channel 2, and see how things sound from there. Jesus. Well, there was that. Awesome. So the EQ is set about where it was on channel 1. I've just updated everything. So here we go again. We've got some scaly stuff. Bluegrass rhythm. And then something really tasteful, like or how about this? Nice. Well, dang, folks, I'm actually really happy with the audio quality coming off of this thing. The one thing that I'm noticing right now, though, the output is drastically lower on this than I thought it would be. I'm running, so just to be honest with you here, I am running my gain is at 3 o'clock, my volume is at 2 o'clock right here, and it was pretty much the same on the last channel. So to me, that's like less headroom than I would want to work with on this microphone, but the audio quality is really nice. One last experiment that I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the position one more time and get this thing like closer to the sound hole at the bass side. See if there's any change in volume there. I get a big boomy frequency, but let me see what happens if I take the lows. I moved it a little closer to the top of the guitar and it got louder. Let's try it here maybe. Get it all the way down here and then just get it hovering right over those strings. What does that do? Maybe it is a little lower. You can hear that maybe. It wants to go on that low frequency, so let me turn that down a little bit more. But you can hear that maybe, closer is better to the top of the guitar on this one. I'm about, maybe you can even see it right there. That's about how far I am from the top of the guitar. Your mileage may vary depending on your instrument. I'm on an OM right here. Something tells me that actually if I had my Dreadnought, my Collings in hand, this one might be booming a little more. So that output of your guitar is actually going to affect the output of the microphone, etc. But once again, a little quieter on this microphone than I probably would have imagined or hoped for. That being said, the audio quality is killer. I'm really happy with what's coming through acoustically in the room on my jam amplifier. And just to be clear, part of the signal that you are hearing right now, just for acoustic purity, is the direct out on my amplifier into Logic Pro. Well, I think that leaves one more test. You guys know what that is, the wireless range. So let's pick a walking tune and I'm gonna go walking. And how am I gonna do this? I need to record myself too. Holy smokes, maybe I'll just do the nose hair cam. Here we go, gang. We're walking through my house. We're walking through my house to test this microphone. It's gonna be a really fun time. We're testing a microphone, trying not to hit my shit in the way as I'm walking through the house. Alright, we're at the furthest end of my house right now. I have no idea if the audio is cutting out down in the basement, but while I'm here, I just want to say hey to my buddy Dio. I love my cats. Alright, let's go back to the basement. Alrighty. Moment of truth. Let's look at those audio waveforms on the old Logic Pro. Hey man, I don't see like any noticeable dropping. Maybe there actually is a little bit of dropping. So that pretty much concludes the audio test here. Let me do some work on the computer real quick and see if we did manage to lose that audio signal. Alrighty, so I just listened back to the audio. Unfortunately, right as I walked through that door in the studio, I start to hear some wobblies and some quavers and wavers and all that kind of stuff. So, that being said, it's kind of like what I say with all of these wireless devices. If you've got a clear open space, nobody's using their cell phones, nobody's using any Wi-Fi devices, you're probably going to be great. But if you start to put walls in between yourself, if there's a bunch of Wi-Fi or cell phone interference around, it's probably going to affect the performance of this microphone. Now, that being said, that doesn't have to be the end of the world. I am actually definitely going to use this on stage live. The reason being, one, you can always set up a microphone in front of you in case this thing fails. So there's always a pretty easy failsafe. But two, I've recently really fallen in love with the Schertler Dyne series of pickups on my acoustic guitar, and I think this wireless mic paired with that pickup is going to be like the killer combo. I've been looking for something to add a little bit more of that in the room, natural air, sparkly sound, and I think this microphone might fit the bill. Most stages that I play, I'm never more than 5 feet away from this amplifier, so I can see that this system is probably going to suit me pretty well, unless someone is, blasting a Wi-Fi router right next to it. So for me, that's where I'm kind of landing on this. For you, your mileage may vary. If you need something that you're gonna, you want to be able to do parkour on stage with and all that kind of stuff, this is probably not the microphone for you. But dang, folks, like I said at the beginning of this video, wireless acoustic microphone options for acoustic guitar players are like really, really slim, really hard to find anything that's reliable and affordable. And I think this kind of, if we're talking about the crossing of value and functionality and all that kind of stuff, $219 for this microphone, wireless, comes with a little case and all that kind of stuff, I'm in all day on that one. So I say, great job, Xvive. The audio quality on this microphone is amazing. Even if you don't like the out-of-the-box sound, there's so much room to play with the EQ and all that kind of stuff. If you don't like the output level stuff that I've talked about, you can always put a box in front of the microphone, you know what I mean, to boost the dB a little bit to your liking. But I think on stage with a sound person out front and all that kind of stuff, this microphone is actually going to work out pretty well for me. All right, so there it is, folks, the Xvive U8 wireless guitar system. Before we get out of here today, I just want to say a really huge thanks to the folks at Xvive. They sent me their U2 wireless guitar system back in the day to test out on my electric rig. Still use that one to this day in all of my private lessons and everything. Love that system. So to have this U8 in the arsenal now is awesome. Can't thank you guys enough. And really, I try to stray away from making too many like product endorsements on this channel, but if you're looking for some affordable gear just to get the job done, like as a modern content creator or amateur musician, definitely check out Xvive. Their stuff is top notch. Like I said, I'm going to use this rig with my acoustic guitar going forward, and I love their electric guitar stuff. Next, I would really love to try out some of their wireless in-ear monitors. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So, to anyone in the marketing department at Xvive, if you want to send me some in-ear monitors to test out for you, the viewer, right now, I would love to do that. All right, my friends, thank you so much for checking this video out. I hope that you found this useful and that it helps you make a good decision for what you need in your acoustic guitar playing right now. Thanks again for sticking around to the end of the video, but don't go anywhere. We got more great content right here.